and today we're having our 10th anniversary session of live talk, HES Talks. This is a space, a dialogue space where we speak about life, about education. Education not as formal education that happens in the classrooms and at schools, but where education is a connection, is a dialogue between people. And today, before starting our topic, I would like to remind you that our last topic was related to facing the unknown. We're talking how important it is in education and in our everyday life to face the unknown, because the problem in traditional education is that it gives answers. It focuses on answers. But what about questions? We live in the world that is absolutely, I would say, unexplored if we would take the perspective, space perspective. So, and today we are going to talk about space and why space should enter our curriculum, enter our school, not as a separate topic. Obviously, we have chapters about the solar system, about celestial bodies, but not as a content, but as a perspective, as a context, and as a lens. So today is our topic, but before starting that, yesterday I was watching Carl Sagan, an astrophysicist, his interview, where he mentioned several dangers of our current state of development of our civilization. And the first one was that we have created the society based on science and technology, where no one understands science and technology. And the danger is that what kind of democracy you want to build, because this kind of combustible mixture of ignorance and power which gives science and technology, one day, sooner or later, will blow up in our faces. And the most of people, they don't understand science and technology, though we claim that, yes, we live in a technological society. This is a very important point to start. As we live in space age, perhaps many people, they even don't know that we live in the space age, that started in 1957 with the first man-made satellite to orbit the Earth. And in 1961, the first human from the Soviet Union, Yuri Gagarin, was the first human who saw the Earth from space. From these, how many, several decades already we're in the space age, and it transformed our understanding of the world dramatically. But still, and this is the point for us to think and to talk today, is that our curriculum in education, school curriculum, it's still geocentric, not in the content, in the terms of astronomy, but in the approaches and in the structure that is given in the school, geocentric. We don't even talk about that we are a part of a bigger cosmic picture, dynamic picture. And we need to think in how to transform it, how to bring space as a context, as a lens, not as a separate chapters. So this part I would like to mention, because so that you will not think that, okay, we have space in our curriculum. No, we don't have. We have just some chapters, isolated, static, that don't give us that space to question. And science, by the way, and it was the second danger I once again referred to Carl Sagan, that the second danger he mentioned, it's very important, because even science we understand is a bunch of facts we need to learn. But actually, the real science is about asking questions. It's about being skeptical. It's about searching, exploring. It's about systems thinking. This is what I want today to talk, how space in terms of science, because actually we speak about, science of space can enter our education systems, and in which way it can transform our understanding of world. And today I would like to introduce our guest. Today we have Tanmaye Vyas. He is the founder of Amazing Space, and he has spent many years, decades of his life to promote, to bring the universe closer to the hearts and minds of not only children, but people of all ages. And I'm really happy to see you here. And we already have started the dialogue and talk, so we're just continuing organically.
Yes.
And my question is that why, just to have this connection, how, this kind of geocentric model of teaching, giving the knowledge, scientific knowledge about life around is limited, and how space can shift and change this understanding, because this is the most important part, right? A different shift of mindset.
Fine. Very difficult question because we always thought about geocentric for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about the heliocentric phase, before we enter into any conversation, today morning after getting all this data ready for everyone to understand, I just wrote few lines onto this spaceship Earth, the topic. So it's a spaceship Earth, a vessel grand. Take your birth hand in hand. Cosmic lens, a window wide. Sail the universe side by side. Planets and stars, a celestial sea. Our home, a ship in harmony.
Wow, that's great. So I would like once again to repeat that, because when we had conversation, it always happens. Then when you start talking about space, about these big things, we end up with poetry.
It's always like that because it comes out like this.
Yeah.
I consider science is not different from art.
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
have put my astronomy and space science studio first of its kind in India, where the whole astronomy and space science is in an artistic manner, so that people can get connected. Starting from geocentric to heliocentric, if you talk about from circular to elliptical, if you talk about say from fuzzy thing considering as a comet which used to be a bad omen, so from comet to nebulae to galaxy, if you talk about the religion, from religion to science, science to space science, if you talk about say from crackers to rockets to space exploration, all these things, if you just look into the history, so-called Homo sapiens, these Homo sapiens has a long 40 lakh year history. What we are right now dealing is a new age, new era,
Yes.
starting from the invention of the telescope 400 years back. So 40 lakh and 400 years. If you see the graph of understanding has shoot up like a cliff. If we, as you rightly said, that 1957, 4th October, the first satellite Sputnik 1, then 1961, where Yuri Gagarin on 19th of April, he went up there, and on 20th July, again Neil Armstrong, who landed on the moon.
Yeah.
All these are kind of milestones for human. But when you go out, as I was thinking that if you just lie down, you just look up there are stars. The number of stars, if we talk about, is limited. Trust me. When we ask someone how many stars are there in the space,
Limitless.
so somebody would say infinite. Fine, that is a routine code. But if you see that without any aid, if I ask any human to see in the darkest of the place on the earth to see and count the stars, no one can count more than 3,000 stars because of the limitation of our eyes grasping power. Right? So a spaceship Earth, which I consider, is something where you are sailing. You have no other Earth. You have no other biosphere. If you talk about Moon, if you talk about Mars, if you talk about Venus, if you talk about Mercury, the surrounding celestial bodies which are, we feel that just months away from us if we travel, but we cannot survive. So in education, we have to incorporate all these aspects. That astronomy should be considered as part of a daily life.
Absolutely, because it is.
It is so.
It is, but why? I mean, we artificially cut the whole life around into pieces, and we just give, for example, biology, chemistry, physics, astronomy as separate things.
No,
separate. I mean, so
exactly.
everything is interconnected.
Correct. See, today when I am having number of my space tutors, they are not allowed to simply speak about physics. They have to understand the physiology and anatomy of a human. They have to understand how many different types of rocks are there on Earth, on Moon, on Mars. That means the geology should be part
Absolutely.
of it. If you analyze that, the analysis would be through the physics, that of a chemistry, in search of a biology.
Absolutely, this is very important point, and I would like to just stress that, because you see, space, when you just use the space not as a separate topic but as a lens, it gives that kind of absolutely organic, natural, connections, interconnections, and integrated approach to learning, to understanding what's going on around us. So this is absolute. And right now I would like to make a pause because we are doing live sessions. So our co-host, Mr. Kamal Mangal, has just joined our session because he was busy with teachers explaining these things. What is holistic education? What is, interconnected picture of the world? How to bring this dynamic. This is important part. Dynamic interconnected picture into the classrooms, so that he joins our session. And Kamalji, will you please just have some share some ideas about this space part, so that it will be part of our discussion.
नमस्ते सभी को। जो स्पेस जो शब्द है, जो हम खालिस्तान बोलते हैं या शून्य बोलते हैं, इसके बारे में एक समझ मेरी अभी लास्ट 3 इयर्स से डेवलप हुई, जिसमें ये पाया कि स्पेस ऐसा कोई भी जगह नहीं है जहाँ स्पेस ना हो। अगर एटम को देखते तो एटम के अंदर भी स्पेस है, जब भी न्यूट्रॉन इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रोटॉन चक्कर लगा रहे हैं, और इस 2 एटम के बीच में भी स्पेस है, जिसको एटॉमिक डिस्टेंस बोलते हैं। तो ये लोहे की बॉल भी, ये इसके अंदर स्पेस है। इसका मतलब ऐसी कोई भी जगह नहीं जहाँ स्पेस नहीं है, और स्पेस के कारण हम सब कनेक्टेड हैं। स्पेस में ही हर चीज है। तो एक साइंस में बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन अनसोल्व रहा है कि एक एटम में इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रोटॉन अगर ट्रेवल करते हैं तो ट्रेवल के लिए एनर्जी चाहिए, और वो कभी घूमने से रुके ही नहीं आज तक। तो ऐसा कौन सा एनर्जी का सोर्स है जो कंटिन्यूस दे आर गेटिंग फ्रॉम देयर एनर्जी। सो इस मिस्ट्री को सोल्व हुआ जब स्पेस को हम समझते हैं। तो स्पेस एक ऐसी यूनिट है जिसके अंदर होने से सारी एनर्जी है, वो दे रहा नहीं है। निरपेक्ष ऊर्जा जिसको बोला जाए, तो वो निरपेक्ष ऊर्जा का एग्जाम्पल है। तो इसका मतलब जितनी भी एटम से बनी हुई वस्तु इकाइयाँ हैं, जिसमें मैं भी वही इकाई हूँ जो एटम से बना हूँ, तो मेरे अंदर भी स्पेस होना चाहिए। तो जब मैं विपश्यना में बैठता था, और विपश्यना में जब मैं गोयंका जी का मेडिटेशन करता था, तो उसमें आई हैव पर्सनली फीलिंग दैट आई कैन ट्रेवल इन माई ऑल पार्ट्स ऑफ द बॉडी। सो इट मीन्स everywhere is a space in me also, and if we connect that energy of the space, then I will feel rich, not beggar. So that is a space. If we understood the different dimension of the space, not a travel to the one planet to different planet, space is there, but space is everywhere. तो एक कल्पना ऐसी भी है कि हम कहते हैं ईश्वर कण कण में है। कण मतलब एटम में है, और कण कण ईश्वर में है। ये जो कल्पना हुई, ये कल्पना स्पेस के कारण है। सत्य होती है कि ईश्वर है तो स्पेस ही ईश्वर है। इस ईश्वर के जो गुण बताए गए हैं वो सारे गुण स्पेस से कनेक्ट होते हैं। ईश्वर निराकार है तो स्पेस का कोई आकार नहीं है। ईश्वर पारदर्शी है तो ये भी आर पार है, किसी वस्तु से रुक नहीं सकता स्पेस। स्पेस सबका आधार है, ईश्वर सबका कर, तो स्पेस नहीं सबका आधार है। तो कई चीजों में हम कह सकते हैं कि ये स्पेस ईश्वर है। अब इसको अगर हम समझ जाएंगे तो हम समझेंगे हम में कल्पना शक्ति कहाँ से है और हमें सुख की चाहना क्यों है। That belongs to happiness. Everybody wants happiness because हम सुख सागर में हैं। ईश्वर सुख सागर है और हम सुख सागर में हैं, तो हमें वो इच्छा उसका प्रतीक है कि हमें मोक्ष चाहिए। दूसरा, कल्पना शक्ति हर बच्चे में है, तो कल्पना शक्ति ब्रेन का एलिमेंट नहीं है। तो छोटे से बच्चे में कल्पना शक्ति, उस टाइम उसका ब्रेन डेवलप नहीं हुआ। तो इट मीन्स that power we receive from space, every child, and we can able to express our power.
So on this, if I may, जो सुख की बात की आपने,
happiness,
तो उसका जो सुख जो है, तो you know the definition of sukh. What is the meaning of sukh? If you translate astronomy into Hindi or Gujarati, it is called Khagol Shastra. Now Khagol Shastra, if you understand this word itself, is a combination of two words. Bhugol, that is bhu, that is jameen or pani, that is prithvi, is gold, so that is bhugol. But when we talk about Khagol, so what is Kha? So Kha is a word used for Akash. जैसे खग, तो खग मीन्स पक्षी, ख आकाश, गमन, आकाश में जो गमन करता है वो पक्षी है। तो वो ख, जब ख के बारे में बात करते हैं तो व्हाट इज सुख एंड व्हाट इज दुख। तो सु मीन्स सारू, ख मीन्स आकाश, मीन्स माय और माय आकाश इज सु, दैट इज सारू, एंड दु मीन्स दूषित। तो ये दुखी है, the one who is in a grave pain, even if she is in a pain, I am happy, even if we are sitting together, my Akash will never touch her Akash. I may not understand that. That's a parallel universe which I consider. That we all are living in the universe with parallel universes. Your thought right now, your questions, his way of thinking, her way of thinking, my way of talking, the one who is shooting this thing, all of us are sitting in one space, but we are in different space.
So you see, I would like to add, though I'm sorry I don't speak Hindi or Gujarati, so I can just hardly understand that we are just moving to different dimensions, spiritual and philosophical dimensions.
Absolutely.
So that you see, space gives organically when we just face these kind of bigger things that our mind, and Kamalji said very, I would say tragically, saying that we're not capable to express that. Really, some kind of blockages are there. We are not able, but we want. I mean, the humans, they always wanted to touch this kind of unknown, without no borders, without no limits. And just, you see, the paradox of our civilization development is that just in the beginning, I would say, whatever we know, I mean, from the history, we were close to universe, we were close to space, so it was a part of our daily life, our, understanding the world, our language. It was, we created myths, we created legends, we created different philosophical systems, right? So, but then afterwards, when we entered this technological era, somehow it was cut. But the most interesting thing, because I'm from Russia, and the Soviet Union, Russia was the first country that launched this Sputnik, so that this handmade a satellite, and Yuri Gagarin was, so, and we celebrated our national holiday, 12th of April. But What was behind that?
Exactly.
Behind that, it was Russian philosophical movement of cosmism, Russian cosmism. There was philosophers, there was thought,
Correct.
there was belief, there was hope
Yeah.
that it's possible. And then this thought was just materialized, and we could have this cosmic space program, and we could just enter the space.
Oh, sweet.
So you see, this is my idea is that space gives us space to different kind of connections.
Correct.
When we feel that perhaps we're different, but the intention of finding this connection, this is the most important part.
Yeah.
That's why the spiritual dimension through space can enter the classrooms.
So, Kiran, yeah. Go ahead.
One more interesting thing, because we might move away from this, was from listening to all of this, I realized that space gives you the biggest scale to think on, because from the infinitesimal small
Yeah.
space within an atom to the infinity of millions of light years is the scale on which space compels you to think, and that just makes me realize the power
Sweet.
of space. It just really, it expands your mind more than anything else.
So it's all about inner space and outer space, right?
And everything in
Yeah,
between.
As Sir rightly said, that there is atom and then there is inside it. Now, if you just go to the smallest of the space that we can measure, is called a Planck length. Right now, the
Yeah.
Planck length is, if I'm not wrong, it is 1.616 into 10 raised to minus 35 meter. Now, number is too difficult to understand. Now, suppose if I want to fathom out that what this Planck length is. Today, as per different theories, if we measure the probable diameter of the visible universe, it's 93 billion light years. Right? Suppose if I expand the atom, at the size of the visible universe, the Planck length would be an atom.
Oh my God.
So this is space. Now, as Sir's perspective, if we consider this as a spirituality, if we consider this as, who made all this? Why are we here? Is there life anywhere? What is the probability? Now, looking to the astronomical aspect of the probability of light that we have tried to, just imagine or calculate it. Once we just thought that the earth is steady,
Yeah.
everything is moving around us because we are the supreme power, right? That's what we always thought about. Then it broke. We considered that now we are also one of all different, large 8 bodies which are evolving. Then we consider that as a universe. Invention of the telescope took us beyond galaxy to different galaxies. Now we are talking way beyond what we can think about. Just consider that if we think only of a Milky Way galaxy with 250 billion stars, the probable calculation of exoplanet means planets which are orbiting around other stars, is nearly 8 trillion in our galaxy. So approximately how many galaxies do you think that is there in our universe? Just 2 trillion. So multiply these 2 trillion probable galaxies into 8 trillion probable planets, and do you think that you are the one who is center of the whole universe?
Fermi's paradox.
Right?
Different. Yes, absolutely. This is a very strong point. You see, it brings understanding who you are. It's a part of that. We
Exactly.
cannot cut. Even children, they need to understand this great picture, amazing picture. I mean, of the world, of dynamic world we live in.
Exactly. So now we just thought about that. From nothingness, in the water there was a small chemical reaction with a specific temperature, with a specific chemistry, CHO and all combined together made a molecule and blah 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 blah. Fine, very good, clap clap clap. But do you think that it can happen only on Earth? No. Why? Because recently we have found a piece of one of, it is made up of 4 different ATGC, the DNA. So in RNA, there is one of the thing we found in comet.
Yes.
So you are not unique. Once we thought that water is our privilege, it's only on Earth. Now we have found water in Enceladus, in all different satellites of Jupiter and Saturn.
Yeah.
We have found water even in nebular molecular clouds. We have found sugar molecules. So it's like we are still in a baby stage of a science.
Yeah.
We are just crowding. We are clapping because we can crowd, and we thought that we are now in a rocket going everywhere. The Voyager has reached the outer boundaries of the
Yes.
solar system. No, even at this speed, it will take still thousands of years to reach the outer solar system. Thousands of years. If I want to go to the nearest probable habitable planet, that is Proxima Centauri, which is 4.26 light years away, the fastest probe that we have today is having 192 kilometer per second speed. 192 kilometer per second. At this speed, this is the highest that we have right now. At this speed, it would take 6,667 years to reach the nearest planet. So, why are we not putting all these things into education? Why are we, as you are
Do
rightly
you know why? I will explain you why.
Please.
Because right now we're touching, you see, fundamental things, and I want, again, I started this talk from the previous talk that we had facing the unknown, which is a dramatic shift in education. When we speak about space, more questions than answers will come. More, scientific mindset rather than just digestible. Yes, we want. That's why it didn't happen. Because our education system still is focused on answers,
Exactly.
not just introducing that kind of space environment where questions will be welcomed and they can be considered as level of our intelligence. This is what I want actually. This is what is science all about. It's not about facts. You need to remember these facts. It's not a science. It's just another religion you believe in. Science is all about questioning. It's about being skeptical. It's about finding the way how to overcome different kind of challenges. This is what is intelligence is about.
Right.
So that you
Right.
see, that's why when we speak about space entering the, it just different perspective, different shift, different approach.
Let me add one more thing, and then you can just ask.
Yes, perhaps questions. We have questions.
I'll just give you one more connect.
Mhm.
The one who is into say botany, and that has got nothing to do with astronomy. But if you have a trunk, you just chop it off.
Mhm.
You will see the annular rings, right? To study this annular ring, the science is called dendrochronology, right? Now, in dendrochronology, if you study these lines, you will come to know in which year sun had maximum number of sunspot. Now, when this botany has such a connection, it's not different. Everything has its own vibration. Everything vibrates at a specific frequency. For me, even this pillow is alive because it has to remain in the order that it has been ordered to. We are in order where we can reproduce ourselves. We have to remain alive by eating, feeding something. This thing only has nothing to reproduce, but it has to remain in order. Okay, you have to be yellow like this forever. You have to be black like this forever. You have to be in this shape unless it has been squeezed. You have to be like this. So everything means, as he rightly said in Vipassana, if you sit, if you vibrate, even in this room, if I have said, oh, so this room has specific vibration. It tranquils, it gives you peace, it soothes you. Why? Because you are in a specific frequency. If you don't like someone by chance, and if he or she calls, your body starts vibrating in a negative manner. Oh shit, kya phone aayo? You know why? Yet he has or she has not spoken anything. Could be, I'm in dire need something. But we have specific mindset, and we live in a very typical world where, as you are rightly saying, only answers matter, no questions matter. but now I think question matters.
But just, I mean, one, I would like to remind this nice quote, perhaps not, I mean, but just the idea that of Nikola Tesla that said that the future of our science, I mean, humanity is just, if you want to understand the universe, you need to think in terms of energy and vibrations,
Exactly.
right? So that
That's
this
it.
is, yeah.
That's it.
So yes, please, if we have questions.
Yeah, I'm just trying to come out of
Yes, that kind of
because it's so amazing to think about how much we are influenced with everything. Each tree carries the memory, the impression
Exactly.
from each year of its life. Sun, you know, what it's
Exactly.
8 minutes, eight
Yeah.
light minutes away,
Yeah, 8
right?
minutes away, yeah.
Yeah, so it's incredible. Okay, we've received a couple of questions, but they're very similar from Twesha, Khushi, Purva, so I'm going to try and club them together.
Yeah.
And they're all asking about, so two things. One, if you have to introduce one idea from space that is not currently in education, but should be there, should be very important, what would that idea be? And two, how learning about space helps us understand our purpose on Earth better.
Okay. So first thing, like how should we have this in our routine education system? In fact, what I understand it. Previously, we used to had this in standard 8, 9, and 10 only one chapter on solar system.
Yeah.
Now it has been demolished,
Really?
eradicated. Why? You know why?
Mhm.
Because teachers were not knowing how to teach this chapter.
Wow.
They had to ask students to simply mug up.
Yes, yes.
So the right thing, right, is from the first standard, as you are saying down there, that from the first standard you are to introduce astronomy to them, not as astronomy,
Mm.
but why the sky is blue, why the light is light, why the sound is sound, why the stars are so tiny, how come you compare the sun with a star? All these, we think that they are small, but they are not.
This is actually what we do in our system, in our program, so that these space lenses, this kind of, you see, very natural question that children
Exactly,
have,
exactly.
so that we read and we explain. So space is already a part of our curriculum, and
Yeah.
I'm really proud of that.
So
really
presently, already I'm under the banner of Tanmaye Amazing Space. We are having different schools where we are running different clubs in their own premise, where we introduce this subject, let them ask a number of questions, and we try to satisfy. So this is one way in which we can create Rakesh Sharma, Sunita Williams, Kalpana Chawla, or right now our Shubhanshu Shukla, who is up there in ISS. So we wish that they should be given on everyday basis something that connects the dots in their mind. So that is, I think, school's responsibility. We can simply just put this idea to a little more into it.
Mm.
And second thing, as you were asking, what is the probable connection that we have, like while living life, all these things. But I tell you one thing: if you, by any means, if you visit my space studio, what we have displayed out there is one section of inventions of space you are using on everyday basis.
Oh,
Suppose if you are
nice.
making a dosa or you are making an omelette in a pan, so that pan has a Teflon coating which was actually invented for the spaceship to re-enter. If you talk about the survival of human in COVID because of the infrared thermometer, so that was actually being used for the space. If you are using the laptop right now, so that is invention of the space.
Amazing.
And now we are using on a day-to-day life. If you are using the water purifier, that was for the purpose of space. If you know that now we can clone, why do we need to clone? Do you know there was once a theory that if you wish to save yourself, a humanitarian, you have to travel afar. If you travel afar, you have only 40, 50, 60 years of
Yes.
same thing. Then there has to be a clone of mine, then a clone of its, then a clone of it, so that the human race survives.
Yeah.
All these things, without this, trust me, without astronomy, life is nothing. If you have not seen 100 foot 100 feet big dinosaur out there, then 6 feet human will not be visible because 5 times the earth is being, excavated by the heat of the comet or a meteor or volcanic eruption. So 5 times there was, 70 to 80% of the life, extinct. Do you think that no rock will now come? Who will save you? Astronomers. We are all the time, the mature astronomers are all the time looking for, rocks that is coming to us. If we develop a technology which can just, blast it off out there, or we can simply deviate that rock away from the Earth to, come and collide. So that is astronomy. That's why we are living here.
But you see, I would like a little bit, perhaps, pessimistic note that our humanity will just kill itself, like
Exactly.
homicide, just not bombing,
We have
asteroid, but our own Earth.
today morning. I saw on news that there are already 9 countries having flooded today. 9 different countries, right? My wife was asking why everywhere this is. I said when the wars are going on, there's so much of energy, so much of the negativity, the chemical that we are pouring in the atmosphere. The atmosphere will not understand how to react, and there is downpours. So we are killing our own self.
Absolutely.
The title itself, spaceship.
Spaceship where crew were not passengers.
Exactly.
It was the quote for Buckminster Fuller, and he was
Exactly.
just. We need to understand this responsibility, and I would like to ask Kamalji because that kind of because we talked, and I know that he will be able to. You see, this is what we speak about science. We speak about. Amazing achievements of science related to space and that kind of huge perspective we have for the human development. But what is the purpose? Well, gee, how to make this science work not against us to blast one day, just we're in wars. I don't know if any one day our civilization had one day on this beautiful planet without the wars.
Teaching science is a guided discovery, and every child is a curiosity, tremendous curiosity, and power of imagination. When we understood that the very nature of every child, then science teaching to us the not only the knowledge he carries in the science subjects, but with the purpose.
Correct.
Yes, this is
So
important.
knowledge and purpose both together,
It should be hand in hand.
then we will achieve humanity.
So
I want to connect one more thread where you talked about how if you chant an om and there's that vibration, it'll affect us.
correct.
At that time, I was, I don't know, the thought came to me that probably all the vibrations are attempting to harmonize. We know through science that each atom is trying to reach a stable state. We're all constantly in the pursuit of happiness, equilibrium, harmony, right? So, I mean, I just felt that it tied everything together.
So that is, if you have come to a word called the aurora, the northern lights. What is it? There is atom. There is a solar radiation that's coming. It's giving the energy to that atom. The atom receives the energy in electron. It goes from a lower to a higher orbit, but it is not stable out there. So it leaves that energy, and that energy is giving
Yes.
us beautiful light.
Yes.
So energy and frequency, nothing else is there right now in the universe. If you talk about any religion, they have continuous chanting. What is that chanting? So even every language, every word is a shloka. If I wish to right now say routinely in Gujarati, we very smoothly say, "Ah, gadeda jevo chu." You are like a donkey. So if I say in this speech, "Yeah, gadeda jevo chu," then it is hurting.
Yeah.
But if the same thing, "Yeah, gadeda jevo chu tu," થોડુંક સરખું વિચાર. So it's all about the frequency. match the frequency with the harmony of the earth, with the water, with the land, with the air, then you are supposed to be the most peaceful species on the earth.
In a way, the purpose of everything is to harmonize.
Absolutely.
Innately so.
And what I wanted, actually, our time is just, unfortunately, it's not that much
The
infinite.
questions were so deep, so we went
Yes,
into
absolutely
this.
amazing discussion we had. But what I wanted right now, because it went very naturally from, you see, touching that from material world, I would say, to spiritual dimension. And I wanted to perhaps finalize and summarize this talk with the main idea we have come together, all together, to, it's that ethics. It's an absolutely organic and necessary part of space education and of the whole education. So you see, because it not only, I mean, development of thinking, but about development of understanding of purpose, who we are, and what is this life for? Because these are very important questions, unfortunately, that are not asked at schools just from the beginning, so that we do not question ourselves, we do not question life, we do not question our attitude, our thinking, whatever we do. We have as if aim, we want to have some profession, some jobs, we want, but who we are, why we do that, I mean, just look around, look up, see. And as we have, so this part is very important. So space brings not only system thinkings, not only different perspective where we understand our responsibility and fragility of this planet, and our responsibility as a crew, not just, I mean, consumers of the planet, but you are a part of this beautiful life, cosmic life. But also this kind of responsibility, ethical part is also a part of space education. And as we usually end up with a kind of challenge, we have this kind of, giving ideas, some steps, some actions for people to, to follow, to feel differently. Because this is the main objective, I would say, for our talk, to transform our understanding of the world, start questioning. So do you have any idea what kind of challenge, some kind of act on everyday basis, or just once, you can just suggest to our audience so that they can follow, that can bring different perspective into their life?
Too tough, because we are in Gujarat and everyone is more after, we are considered as, commercial guys. We are very less into science and such thinking. But yes, it is very important that to pursue anything in a sustainable manner, there has to be on an everyday basis, that you have to keep on asking yourself, as you rightly said, who we are and why we are. But since we are not getting any answers, does that mean that we have to stop working? No. We need to keep working onto anything that we are doing, but along with that, we need to forward in our next upcoming generations that the question is must on everyday basis, either to be asked to teachers or to parents. If you are unable to answer that, go to expert, but must satisfy yourself on everyday basis. Just one question a day, 365 answer a year, and in 10 years.
Especially parents, because you say, I think that children, they naturally, they still have this kind of, questioning mind. But then from year and year at school, these kind of things is just degrading. So that please, 18 plus, audience who are here, start questioning. And from my side, a challenge is that please go outside and look up. Look at the stars, just feel, perhaps not questioning, but just see that how beautiful the world is. So, Kamalji, do you want to add something by the end of? Kamalji is already in that kind of space where everything is harmony and beauty. So this is what we want to, also, I like that thought, that harmonizing beauty. By the way, I would like to end with that part, that cosmos in Greek language, it's beauty.
Yeah.
So with this nice, perspective, that be open to cosmos, be open to beauty, outside and inside us. So have a nice day. Thank you for joining us. Be with us. Bye bye.